have the same thing. There's more than enough wrestlers in this country for us to be both good at freestyle and good at Greco. And it's only going to come from the ground up. We got another fun one here. Malcolm Allen taking on, and I'm going to let Richard introduce the gentleman from Army WCAP.
Ooh. Glad that coffee cup was empty. Pete Gounaridis.
But his actual name...
Oh, Paintois? We call him Pete. Pete's been at this for a while.
Yeah.
Up and down, he's placing, he's finishing fifth, he's winning medals. He's been in several finals, at the World Team Trials level. So he's a really good competitor. And
look at the feet from Malcolm Allen. We haven't really gotten a chance to introduce Malcolm Allen yet, running through that, getting a takedown here. Doesn't look like he's going to do a whole lot on top. But, Richard, I'm going to let you finish talking about the history of Pete Gounaridis.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a solid guy. Typically, he's been wrestling at 98 kilos, down a weight. But, we've seen him fluctuate. He was in the Olympic Trials finals in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
He's at that level, right? He can beat anyone. But, yeah, and he's wrestling a guy that we really don't have an idea of what he brings to the table. He was third at the U.S. Open in December, and that's about all we know. And almost gave up a step out there, did Allen, that we haven't quite gotten introduced. But Gounaridis, the second guy in a row that made the finals of a USA Wrestling event that came up from 98. We saw Jacob Mitchell at the Open. He himself kind of bounced around between 98 and heavy. But Malcolm Allen, a junior college guy, who's a junior college All-American, kind of decided, hey, man, this Greco stuff's fun. I'm going to get back into it. Came back with the Storm, had a real fun match with Toby Erickson. He ultimately lost that one, kind of got 5 to end it, but was winning that match for a little bit. Like you were saying, had a real impressive senior nationals. Now here he is in the Dave Schultz finals. Not a terribly big bracket, but he doesn't, he can't control who he's wrestling. Great job by him to make the finals. They both won a couple matches on the day.
Right.
Allen has broken a couple score clocks on the day. He really has a gravity for the standing televisions.
That's not a joke, guys. He actually did break.
And you're gonna I'm worried when that happens and they're coming my direction, because those are big boys.
Yeah. And
they got a lot of momentum behind them.
So 2-0 here, still under a minute. They stopped it before Allen went out. This is our last final of the night. Had some great ones. We saw Bay and Porter continue their series. Zilmer and Hancock continue their series. Spieler made his comeback. Ravon made his comeback. So a lot of things to build on if you're Coach Lindland and the rest of the Greco coaching staff. I know Storm and Sunkist NYC got to be happy put so many guys in. Storm, you didn't quite see the guy, the amount of guys they're used to sending as we get our first passive here against Allen. But I'm sure they'll be out in full force come April.
Yeah. I talked to Gounaridis prior to this match in between sessions, and his strategy here, he actually talked to Toby, who you mentioned wrestled Allen in the U.S. Open. But the strategy is, since he's coming forward with such forward pressure, you got to get to the angle. You see right now he's going to the sides, getting the 2-on-1, getting the angle. And if he comes in, and Pete feels confident that if he can get something locked up and over-under with that forward pressure, he can throw him. Mm-hmm. He feels confident in that. That's the one downside of the forward pressure. We mentioned with Provisor, he's got the short steps, the short forward pressure, as opposed to the driving forward pressure that crashes you into TVs. It's a different, it's a juxtaposition, right?
Yeah.
It's two ends of the spectrum. So we've seen Allen be able to stay controlled with that here in this first period, and that's why he's got a 2-0 lead.
Well, for me, a guy like Allen, there's nothing but upside.
Right.
There's literally nothing but upside for this guy. A big body. We've seen guys with kind of similar body type be very effective with when they figure out their hand positioning on a gut wrench, their hand and elbow positioning. That body type kind of helps sometimes. We see it with Robbie.
Yeah.
As we get back to action here in the second. So trying to develop some depth. Robbie's not going to be around forever. He just had a birthday the other day. I know he probably wants to continue wrestling, and it's probably the spot as long as he's there. But these guys, Gounaridis and Malcolm Allen, they want to be ready for not just Robbie, but guys like Adam Kuhn coming up. Adam Kuhn's been on the shelf for a little bit, but for a whole year, everyone that he wrestled aside from Robbie, he teched or pinned, which is
he's a big boy.
Incredible.
He's really good. Astute observation, I know. Goon is good at wrestling.
He might be one of the best all three style guys we have in the country.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's excellent in both styles internationally. He's one of the best heavyweights in college. And now Gounaridis gets on the board with a passivity point. So match tightens up. Still plenty of time to go. You know, Allen, he's controlling the center. He's controlling the pace. He's pressuring forward. Gounaridis is trying to play the circle game and get an angle.
And for me, subtle, slight body positioning improvement since December. Is he still, fully sound Greco guy? He's probably not fully there yet, but definitely you see the improvements. You mentioned a guy like Gounaridis made the Olympic trials finals. Does he still have that? Remains to be seen. We'll see in April if he can pull that off again. But Allen looking for the drag attempt there. Last minute and a half of the match, last minute and a half of the day. We got men's freestyle coming for you tomorrow. So let's hope that these two kind of finish us out with a bang, get some momentum going for what should be a really fun day tomorrow. Allen still keeping his foot there in the center. Both of them holding wrists here. Gounaridis going to a front head.
Yeah, and this is where he can exploit Allen. He's got him tired, a minute left, wearing on the head. But you got to have better positioning with that right hand. You really got to come over the top and get the full pressure down. Because you saw Allen was able to counter with some head pressure of his own. But that's, since he's not getting to the tie-ups, front headlock is where he's got to go.
And now we see Allen working his own front headlock. Is he going to go ahead in the hole, try and go around? And he is. Has Gounaridis in rear standing as they go towards the edge. And he went down hard. I hope he didn't hit down on the wood. Looks like he didn't. Caution was offered. Looks like they're just going to go with the takedown, I believe. So 4-1. But Allen, you get him moving like that. And that's basically how they took out the clock earlier.
Right. He sees an opening and he pounces. It's the most powerful cat in the world.
Last 30 seconds here. Hope you guys have enjoyed our coverage all day. Myself and Richard will be back tomorrow. I'll try and get Richard on the mic again at some point. He's got, he allegedly has a job with USA Wrestling where they're kind of busy. I don't believe him. Sometimes. Now, USA Wrestling's done a great job. They got all hands on deck, and we're going to get down to the last 5 seconds here, so it looks like Minnesota Storm are going to get their first and only champion of the day, so congratulations to your wrestler in red, Malcolm Allen. And it looks like he's going to get a big hand slap on the butt from his coach. So great day of wrestling. Hancock and Zilmer, man, I can't wait to go back and watch that. Make sure you want to catch up on everything. Full brackets on Flow Arena, archive